In this lesson we're going to look at traverse animation. Traverse animation is very useful for moving platforms and this type of thing. I'll do a demonstration using the bee scene we created earlier. Now if you remember, we actually animated the bee using an animated sprite 2D. Because we want to maintain that animation when we use traverse animation, we're going to use a animated player which allows us to construct lots of different animations, but just for now we'll just use the position node. So if I go to click onto the bee scene or root node, right click, add child node, and then animation, and you shall see animation player just here. Just double click that, and the animation player selects here. Okay, now we need to make certain that we construct this in a set way. So there's no animation currently at the moment. So we need to click onto the animation button in the animation window. We go to new, and then we can put a file name in for it. I'm just going to call it Bee Patrol. You can call it what you want, but just for these this demonstration, I'll show you this from there. Now we're given a window similar to the animation window that we did in an animated sprite 2D, but this time you can see there's no animation name because we've already created it with B control. Now this, what's called timeline, needs to be set up for the animation that we're going to be doing. So in this particular case I want 6 frames because I'm going to ask the bee to go down to frame 3 going in a downward direction, then from frame 3 to frame 6 going back up to the position where it came from. So to set the number of frames up, you click onto this window here, type in whatever number of frames you want. We want 6 this time, and you'll notice the 6 frames now are highlighted. We now need to add a type of track we're going to use. So we go to add track and we want to position track. So add track, property track, and then we're going to just type position. Oh no, sorry, wrong. Sorry about that. We're going to select the bee first of all because that's what we want the main animation to be on. Go to OK, and then we can type position, and then we can double click that position. Now this position here has got its own animation track. Now what remains now is to set up what's called keys. Okay, so we want a key there, which is the start of the animation. We want a key at position 3, which turns the animation around. So as the bee falls down, we want to go back up again. And we want a final key position at frame 6. Okay, but first of all we need to put a position keyframe on this particular part. Now there's 2 ways. You can either right click onto here, which we'll try that way. So right click, so left click first of all to select it, right click, insert key. Now you'll notice if we click on the blue dot that's appeared, you'll notice the timeline and in the inspector change. This is the current X value, which you can see here, X and Y coordinate. That's what's called the position of the origin because it's X and Y equals 0. We want to start it there, that's fine, but we're going to end up dropping the bead into the X position and then back up again. So the first primary key is now set. Okay, the next one, we can left click where 3 is, or to be more precise, we can click into the position and type number 3, and that pointer will go directly to number 3 now. So we're going to right click, insert key, and then you can see there's what's called a tween, but we'll not cover that for now, that's for another lesson. But the tween goes from frame number 0 to frame number 3. Again, I'm going to click onto the blue line here. I'm going to position this now. Let's go to, let's say, -20. I apologise. We should go the opposite way. Let's go to 100. Okay, and then that drops down to 100. Now you can see that's there. So you clicked on this key. It's now 100. So what we can do now is drag the timeline. You'll notice what happens to the B. It starts at frame 0 at position 0. It moves along to frame number 3, and then we need to move it back to where it came from. So if we move the position to number 6, again click on the track, insert key, click onto the key, and then we want to be that put to 0 again from there. So enter. So you can see now we've now got 3 keys. So if we start at 1, it travels to 3 in a downward direction and then goes back to the other direction. Now the most important thing here, if you're using a return type animation where it returns to where it come from, it's very important that the ending position is exactly the same as your first position, because otherwise you get a jumping around of your sprite, which we definitely don't want. Okay, so that is that. So the first thing to do now is save the scene, and if you want to see it playing, you can click on the play and you can see it playing happily all around. Okay, so that's what we want to be done from there. Okay, so that sorts the animation out. I'll see you in the next video.